Good evening and welcome. Our main story tonight is gluten, more specifically the gluten-free foods craze that seems to have made its way into our lives.
Sorry, I'm allergic to gluten.
She is known as one of the wonderful hosts on The View. Now, Elizabeth Hasselbeck is speaking out about her struggle with celiac disease.
Our viewer Valerie just went on a gluten-free diet.
She found out she can't eat gluten when it flipped her whole world upside down. She loved her beer and full on stuff. Sadly, those days are behind her now.
Stores and restaurants across the nation are stocking shelves and offering gluten-free products. Granted, a gluten-free diet is an entirely reputable and wise choice for those with certain medical conditions, like celiac disease, but it's not a diet for everybody.
And there's very little evidence to suggest that cutting it out is the healthier choice for the average person.
Which is why we're dedicating this segment to cracking the myth about gluten-free diets. In case you don't know, gluten is a protein composite in wheat and other grains such as barley and rye. And for those with celiac disease, their bodies inherently reject gluten, causing a myriad of uncomfortable issues and long-term damage. So the diet really becomes quite the necessary thing for those suffering from the condition. However, it seems a lot of celebrities have been citing gluten-free diets and their methods for maintaining their perfect beach bodies. Largely boosting the diet's popularity. Really, it makes sense so many people would follow celebrity lead on their weight loss tips. They make some of the most credible sources. So we struck out. We talked with food service workers and found out many often get requests for gluten-free meals due to allergies or intolerance, but then they turn around and the same guests are eating complimentary bread or cake. You'd think it'd be obvious to a person with gluten allergy that bread and cake both have gluten in them. Or the opposite occurs. They'll ask for gluten-free cake in order to eat more healthily. But it's okay if I eat a box of cookies as long as they're gluten-free, right? We really shouldn't be too judgmental, though. There are many people out there who really understand what it means to be gluten-free. This clip from Jimmy Kimmel will shed some light on those enlightened gluten-free dieters.
Sent a camera crew out to a popular exercise spot right up the street from us to ask people who are gluten-free a simple question: what is gluten? What is this thing you will not eat?
Do you maintain a gluten-free diet?
I do indeed.
And what is gluten?
Okay, does he know what gluten is? No. Well, everyone says no.
Well, as far as for me, how it affects my body,
But what is gluten?
this is pretty sad because I don't know.
Gluten's in bread. It's a flour derivative, wheat, things like that.
It's a flour derivative?
Right? Like it's like bread, things like that, pastries.
It's in those things?
Yeah, it's in those things.
But what is it exactly?
Gluten is it's like a grain, right?
I like when he coughed. It's like, I'm sorry, I have some in my throat. Excuse me.
It's the wheat in products such as like bread or pastas, rice.
Why do you avoid it?
It makes you fat. I mean, like I said, I haven't researched it to the fullest. I have a girlfriend from Russia. She actually just got me into it. So she's reading a book about it.
Oh, okay. Russians know about gluten and Putin. They know about both of those.
There are celebrities and studies that claim that gluten-free diets have had a positive impact on children with behavioral disorders. Can we really blame people for trying to better their own lives or the lives of their children? No, and having a dietary preference is nothing to be ashamed of, but when handfuls of food service workers are citing the same problem, people with gluten-free allergies are scarfing down chocolate cake with a happy smile. Seems odd for somebody with gluten allergy. So what if you don't have an allergy, just a dietary preference, and the chocolate cake is much more appetizing than the gluten-free brick they give you for dessert? Honestly, I think it's as acceptable as long as your preference wasn't prefaced on an allergy or a necessity. But if you're demanding gluten-free food and viewing it as a life or death situation, then proceeding to eat the very thing that will supposedly give you shit attacks, then I just have one thing to say to you. I hope it tasted good. So, if you're thinking about trying out this new gluten-free fad for yourself, avoid looking like an asshole and educate yourself on its ins and outs. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Go.
The soy sauce and the Triscuits too, Randy!
Ah! Wait, I like those.
Chicken nuggets, breaded, frozen burritos, flour, ice cream. What about ice cream?
I don't know. Look at the ingredients.
Heavy cream, sugar, chocolate syrup. No, ice cream's good for you.